Welcome to another iteration of our collaborative videos on talking about video games. Today's topic is the N64 Zelda games, that only being Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Now, forewarning, we have polar opposite opinions from Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask. So keep that in mind before we talk about that one.
Also, quick note: I have very little experience with the NES Zeldas and Link to the Past.
Yes.
I started Zelda with Ocarina of Time, so
I played Zelda 1. It was alright. Didn't beat it. It's not really that good to me. Zelda 2, pretty hard. It's fun, but it's a little too hard for me. I lost interest. Link to the Past, I did beat once years ago. But other than that, I just don't feel like replaying it. I prefer the 3D formula, to be honest.
You and me both.
I imagine they're great games, but I've skipped out on the 3DS game, Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening remake. I didn't get those. I think I just like the 3D formula better.
Yeah, those usually run better for sure, in my opinion.
It's not to say that
outside. So
not to say that Link to the Past, the Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Link's Awakening, Minish Cap, etc. Those games. Not saying they're not what do you want to call it? Bad games. They're just not really my cup of tea.
Oh yeah, I never played what was it? Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, or something like that.
Yeah, it was supposed to. It was a dual release in the style of Pokemon.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, not really Pokemon-esque. More like two halves of one game. Weird. You need a code from the other game to put in your game to get the final boss. Bizarre. And they changed the timeline from being before Link's Awakening to after some reason. Don't know why.
I'm not getting into the Zelda
timeline. Probably because they're going to remake it.
I'm not getting into the Zelda timeline. It confuses me.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But
it's interesting, but it's very confusing.
So usually with Zelda games, I take them one at a time and just kind of box them up and I put them in a box and I can't get the word out. Compartmentalize them on their own merits.
Yeah, you just isolate them into separate categories, really. Like, this game from this era is this good because of this reasoning, and the story itself can be isolated to itself, unless there is a sequel like Zelda 2 and Majora's Mask and the Tears of the Kingdom. What?
I was also saying Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. There's probably a few others.
But
that aren't direct sequels, but take place in a later date. Like I know Twilight Princess is in the timeline. Which timeline was that? The Child timeline, or was that the?
We'll figure that out when we get to Twilight Princess.
All right, yeah. Let's not get. Let's go back. So where are we starting again? Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
All right.
Ocarina of Time was released in November of '98. I want to say.
Something like, I don't remember what month, but it was 1998.
And at the time, and I think it still is, the highest reviewed video game ever.
Yeah, it holds up incredibly well somehow, especially with the Nintendo 64 controller being so limited with controls. They really did a good job. So that's not to say that's perfect, but it definitely is impressive as fuck for the Nintendo 64.
Like every other Zelda game, Ocarina of Time puts you in control of Link, but a really young version of Link. I think he's 9 in this game?
Something like that. He's really young.
He's a kid, and he
becomes 16.
We'll jump to that later. But they bond you with this fairy. Her name's Navi, and I'm not gonna meme her. She's been memed to death.
Yep.
But the other Kokiri, I think they're called the Kokiris.
Yeah, the Kokiri.
are like, haha, you don't have a fairy, you don't have a sword, you don't have a shield, you can't leave. Then Link's like, okay, fuck you. I'm gonna go get a sword and shield, and then I'm gonna go.
Yeah, so basically what happens is the whole beginning area of the Kokiri Forest is your tutorial area. You basically just figure out, oh, I can figure out to move around, if you learn about transitioning between rooms and how instantaneous it is compared to if it were on a disc. But like you just run around, collect rupees, and there's signs and people that tell you what to do with these controls, this and that. Uh, there's hidden rupees if you do certain challenges, like jumping over a few rock pillars or steal rupees from behind the shopkeeper's place. That's pretty cool. Get yourself a Deku shield for 40 rupees. Then you gotta go off to a certain area. I think it's to the. I don't remember. I'm not gonna say which area it is because you know what I'm talking about. There's a crawl space you go into. Go get your sword. Bam. You say screw you to. I think his name is Fado or Mado. I think it's
He's a jerk.
basically
And
the prick.
you have to go in the Great Deku Tree, which is your first dungeon, or the Great Deku Tree, and
Yep.
you fight this spider thing, which if you hit it really quick, it can never hurt you.
Yeah, if you do a jump slash with a Deku stick early, and then do the crouch stab like a few times, you can kill it in one cycle.
It's one of the easiest bosses in video game history. Like, whew.
Yeah, I've been using that technique against some bosses in Master Quest because fuck Master Quest.
But you get through that, and then the Great Deku Tree dies. You're like, hey, so you got to get these other gemstone thingies.
Yeah, it follows a lot of tropes from Link to the Past. Get in terms of like setup. First,
So
you gotta get the three things.
so you go to Hyrule Castle, where you meet Princess Zelda.
Yep.
And you see the King of the Gerudos, Ganondorf, and Chocolate Sentry is the bad guy. And
Yeah, I know, right? He looks pretty bad to me.
yeah, so Zelda instructs you that you have to go to Death Mountain and the lair of the land of the Zoras. I forgot what it's called.
The Zora
Zora
domain.
Domain. Yep.
Yep.
And you have to do 2 dungeons there to get the other 2 gemstones. And go ahead.
In terms of like getting there and all that, it's pretty simple. I mean, after you leave the Kokiri Forest, you have an open world, which was pretty big for 1998 anyway, for being able to run as smooth as it did.
And in between all of this, you get an ocarina, which plays songs. And you need those songs to get through the game.
Yep. You can use that, but yeah, so you got yourself on the east side, all the stuff for the child, basically, and then everything else on the west side is more so for the adult, and sometimes on the east, but at least all the main things are on the east side, so that's nice. Took me a little while to find Zora's Domain, but that's because the map was so pixelated as a kid.
The first time I played through this game, I was like, after I did the second dungeon, I was like, where do I go? Because I went to the Great Lake, and I was like, well, this is where the Zoras are, right? And
yeah, that's what I kept doing too. I was like, where the hell? And then there was like this very off the beat path, and I'm like, oh,
that's where I go. Okay, I get it now.
yeah.
But
and I was
after
like,
you do all that, Ganon does some bad things, and Zelda throws you the Ocarina of Time. You go to the Temple of Time and pull out the Master Sword.
yeah. Well, you forgot the part where Link picks up the Ocarina on Time, and he teaches him the song of time.
I said he gets the Ocarina.
Oh, okay.
When you pull out the Master Sword, you're basically knocked unconscious. Ganondorf's just like, I win.
Yeah, he's like, you freaking idiot. Now I can get into the Golden Land or the Sacred Land, whatever the heck they called it.
Sacred Realm.
Sacred Realm, and fuck shit up.
And so you wake up 7 years later And Ganondorf has just taken everything over until you leave Castle Town, and then everything's normal again.
I was about to say, like, more so he took over Castle Town at the end.
Because once you get to Hyrule Field, everything looks like no worse for wear. But then make sure you go get your horsey, because
That's why I'd love to see a remake of Ocarina of Time. It would like actually show the field like all destroyed.
I mean, the only other place that seems a little messed up is Kokiri Forest. Like
And a little bit of Kakariko in terms of
Kakariko Village, that's
the
what I meant.
mood. Yeah, the mood anyway. Until you finish Death Mountain, and then it gets rid of that feel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and the Shadow Temple, of course.
But honestly, after this point, the story just kind of stops.
Yeah, after you get out of there and it says, "All right, time for you to go get all these medallions," it's like okie dokie.
Like, yeah,
and you go on your way,
you meet
and
this
then
character
everything
called,
just stops.
yeah, you meet this character called Sheik. You go to the next dungeon, she gives you a song. Go to the next dungeon, she gives you a song. Yeah, that you do that like 5 times.
Yeah, you learn all these different warp songs from her, which makes it nice to travel around. But it also helps you get around to these certain areas as a kid, because you can go back in time, which also causes the time split in terms of the story, or the timeline. And
You
it's
only
like,
ever have to do it once, but you should do it a couple of times for like hidden dungeons and stuff.
yeah, and items like some things you're gonna get if you jump back. No, you can't jump back and forth. Well, yeah, you have to plant all the beans and then go to the future and then take them and get all the heart pieces you can get with them. Or Skulltula, or Gold Skulltulas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
there's the Gold
after you
Skulltulas in this game.
after you do all the dungeons, you can go face off against Ganondorf.
Or you can
And,
go fishing.
or you can just go fishing, and then you defeat Ganondorf in a pretty anticlimactic battle, and then Hyrule Castle just starts collapsing after you save Zelda. Oh, Sheik is also Zelda. BT dubs.
Yeah.
And as soon as she reveals herself to you, she gets captured immediately. So, like, why'd you drop the disguise?
Sheik is smart, but Sheik became Zelda for a second. Her mind like tuned into Zelda rather than her Sheik mind.
You beat Ganondorf, get out of the castle, and he's like, by the way, I got the Triforce of Power, screw you, and turns into Ganon. And it's a much better boss fight. Oh, man.
Oh god, yeah, it was really damn cool.
Now,
In releases afterwards, it would be kind of ruined because like the Virtual Console, like the slowdown was supposed to like time it with the music, so when it's running at a smooth 30 FPS or something like that, I don't know what it was.
Works on the 3DS version.
It looks a little too bright, but it looks really cool overall.
No, the original N64 version is the way to go with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you defeat Ganon, and he's trapped in a prison in the Sacred Realm, I think.
Yeah, like Zelda like stops him and then like holds him down. You have to get the Master Sword after he knocks out of your hand.
You go back,
and then you whack the shit out of him in the head and stab him straight through the head.
And he
then they steal him.
And he survives somehow. But
somehow.
But yeah, you go back in time, Navi fucks off, and then Link goes and tells Zelda what happened.
Yeah, and
which causes another split in the timeline. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. So in terms of
the story is very simple.
Yeah, it's your first time through. If you don't know what you're doing, it may seem pretty cool and big. Maybe if you're a kid, anyway.
But it's not. It's really no different than Link to the Past. It's a little more involved because it's a much bigger game. But
yeah,
it's basically just same thing. Get a couple items, defeat the Ganondorf, save Hyrule.
Yep, nothing much more to it than that. It'd be that way for most other games.
However, the journey of that story is actually quite good.
Oh yeah, probably my second favorite.
Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games of all, and we're gonna get into why now. So, I actually love the control scheme of 3D Zelda. And
Yeah, this game got it really well, especially if you play it on the Nintendo Switch Online version. I know that's not the best way to play it, but like with those like brand new controllers, like with the new sticks and all that, Link has never been better to control.
I think the 3DS version of this game's the best version of the game, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, of course. On the big
Um,
screen. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, I feel you. If we're gonna talk about like this and then Mario 64, I think this is aged a lot better than Mario 64 has in terms of control, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both kind of clunky, but
See, Mario 64, I can't grasp the control scheme anymore. Ocarina of Time, I can still jump into. It's weird.
well, Zelda's a little less involved than Mario is, to be fair.
Yeah, I also think Sonic Adventure 1 controls better than Super Mario 64, but that's a different story for a different day.
Well, yeah, duh, for me. I think so too.
But I also think the dungeon structure in this game is very, very well done. For the most
Yeah,
part,
there's no difficulty spikes either.
except for one.
One that makes you go, fuck this game.
Oh, the goddamn water temple.
Yeah, remember when we played it and it took us forever? And I gave up and I said, fuck it, you play it.
I'll be honest with you. The 3DS version I was able to do in one try. Without looking up a guide. Original, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, apparently they fixed it up a lot in the 3DS remake.
They did. But the original's so bad. Oh my god.
Like, I think they color coded the areas.
They did in the 3DS version, which makes it a lot easier to navigate.
You can tell which ones you've been to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a biggest fan of the Shadow Temple either, if I'm honest.
That one was forgettable for me.
The Spirit Temple's awesome, though.
I remember the boat, the big boat. That's always cool.
The big boats, yeah. The boss fights in this game are actually pretty interesting.
Was that the first two?
Yeah, the only one I don't really like is Ganondorf.
The first fight, yeah.
Yeah, because all it is
There's a reused fight from Phantom Ganon.
honestly, yeah, and it's just not fun.
Want me to ruin your perception of the spirit of the Forest Temple's music? You know when it's playing and you hear those weird voices in the background going, ah, ah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You just replace that with Tim Curry going, bah, 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 bah.
I hate him so much.
I'm going to send you a video after this and you're going to be laughing.
Oh, damn it.
Anyway.
Also, Young Link and Adult Link do control different.
Your old Link is our team. Yeah. Adult Link is a little bit slower in terms of speed.
But he's stronger.
He's bigger, faster, and very strong.
And he can hold the big metal shields. Young Link can't.
And for some reason, he can't hold the Deku shield, but that makes sense why, because it was a Hylian shield.
I don't think Kid Link can use a bow and arrow.
No.
He can in Majora's Mask, but he can't in Ocarina of Time.
Because he older, apparently.
But Kid Link also can't ride Epona, but Adult Link can.
Yeah. So, there's some trade-offs to each character. Young Link moves faster on foot. He has the Deku sticks as like a pretty good powered weapon, but other than like being powerful, it's just used for puzzles.
Yeah, and a lot of these items are like that though. Like the Megaton Hammer, when are you going to use that skin aside from the boss?
To hit the switches.
Yeah, that's it.
Only in that dungeon.
The hook shot's pretty cool. The boomerang
Yeah,
is
because
pretty cool.
that can have multiple uses outside the dungeons.
Yeah. The
That's what make it.
boomerang's freaking badass.
Yeah, I think it's better in Wind Waker, to be honest. But yeah,
We're not at Wind Waker yet, okay?
I don't care. I can
Daddy,
reference
chill.
the game. No, you can't tell me what to do.
There's also the big Goron sword, which okay.
As a kid, I thought it was the coolest fucking thing to have. Nowadays, I'm like, no. I want to use my shield.
Yeah, honestly, and there's 3 arrow types: fire, ice, and light.
Fire, you can easily miss if you're not paying attention, like I did as a kid.
Fire's so convoluted to get to. Like,
It's like after you get out of the dungeon or I think it's the water temple. You get out of the water temple. Sheik dives into the water, and then the sun rises. You aim at the sun, shoot it, and then a fire arrow drops from the sky on the pillar or grass ground area across from there. It's like, what the fuck?
then the ice arrows, all you really do is do a little mini.
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have any use like in terms of like progressing the game. You don't need to get them. You do a Gerudo trial for those.
You don't
But I'll
technically
tell you
have.
one thing about. I'll tell you one story though. I did not get the fire arrows, but I was still able to beat the game because I aimed a fire arrow just right from a torch at this like ceiling thing in Ganon's tower where it like covers up the light.
Getting the
like,
fire arrows makes it so much easier, though.
Yeah, but once I figured out that, I'm like, oh, that's why it was so hard. Duh.
It all makes sense now. But
But if you're not
Ocarina,
paying attention to your first playthrough, you wouldn't understand that, maybe, as a kid.
Soundtrack wise, it's pretty cool. I like the
I
soundtrack.
love the soundtrack of that game.
And graphically, I mean, it was good for the time.
Yes. I still think it looks great today.
For an N64 game, yeah.
Even then, I still look at it and I'm like, I can still appreciate how it looks.
Yeah,
Like, it still looks to me like a high quality video game, regardless of how limited it was.
I loved Ocarina of Time a lot. I would play it right now if I wasn't doing this podcast.
If you weren't busy with life.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Life sucks. So
yeah, it does. But this game, however, fantastic. 10 out of 10. Something I cannot say about Majora's Mask.
yeah, neither can I. We're gonna have a lot of people saying, fuck you guys. You're wrong.
But I could not get into Majora's Mask to save my life.
I don't want you to play differently. I don't want you to play differently than a normal Zelda game, but it's hard to not.
Like, I don't like I don't like the time cycle. I just don't.
That's stressful for me.
Oh my god, yeah, like you're in the middle of a dungeon. Time's about to end. Oh, I gotta reset, but I gotta go all the way back to Clock Town, and all the way back, and my progress resets. That's frustrating.
And you gotta do dungeon all over again.
Like, if your progress didn't reset, it wouldn't be so bad.
No.
But because your progress does reset, it's really... And there's only 4 dungeons in the game.
Yeah, they're not good at all. None of them are designed well.
And, oh my god, I don't mind the game having side quests, but when the side quests are 97% of the game, you've got a problem.
Yeah, it's a very strange kind of game.
And with only 4 dungeons, that means you can only get 4 full heart containers. Meaning there's a bunch of the little ones. I forgot what they're called. But
I'm sure it's a fun game, but I just couldn't get into it that way.
Like,
I'll give it a chance someday, but right now it's just no.
and there's an obnoxious amount of, like, what was that thing we were doing where there was like a bunch of skeleton guys and then there was a big skeleton guy?
Yeah, that was annoying.
God, it's just the more we play, the more I play the game, the more it frustrates me.
Yeah,
And that's how,
we kept swapping off to see who could get farther and all that shit. Like, I thought with the first dungeon, it was gonna be like, yeah, it's kind of okay, it's like not great, but maybe it'll get better because that was probably the best dungeon in the game, even though it was probably like technically the least worst, I should call it, because it wasn't great either. So
the
after
second one
that,
was frustrating because the rolling Goron controls like shit.
the Goron, oh my god, that was so disgusting to watch over and over again.
Oh, and then
I
the
was like,
fucking Great Bay Temple. The fucking Great Bay Temple.
yeah, I had to do that, and I was like, I think I went mute at one point because I was just so frustrated.
Oh yeah, because the boss was just frustrating you.
That too, and just like navigating the whole area was like, fuck this. I think I'd rather do War Temple.
And I forgot what the last dungeon was called, but it was getting annoying too.
It was like in a like not a desert, but a rocky, desertish mix area.
And to be honest with you, I haven't beaten the game because I just couldn't anymore.
Not that much. We tried, but it's like you can't.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to do all these side quests to get the Fierce Deity mask. I just don't want to do it.
And I hate that some of the side quest masks you get, you kind of need to like get past certain obstacles and dungeons, like
They're mandatory.
like lighting the mirrors. You put the one mask on to keep those black like shadow balls away from you.
Oh my god, that one's so annoying.
That's where you call it quits.
Yeah, I couldn't do it after that. That annoyed the piss out of
Maybe someday, but definitely not right now.
me. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. If you like Majora's Mask, dude, more power to you. You like what
Yeah.
you like. I don't.
Nope. The controls are better though for Link. I can say that.
Yeah, okay, fine, but the structure isn't.
And the graphics are pretty because it uses the expansion pack. So
However,
it's
I will say,
got great music too.
if
I
you're
can say
gonna
that.
get these games, just get the 3DS versions.
Well, I hear people that love Majora's Mask on N64 hate the 3DS version.
Really?
Yeah, because they changed too much of it.
Well, I have it. I haven't really sat down to play, but I love Ocarina of Time 3.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll like that version. But I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Not this guy, but
Nope, not me either. I'm
I
done
mean,
with that. Yes. I'd rather
honestly,
just go replay Ocarina of Time again.
yeah. Can't really
100%.
argue. I can't really argue with that. Yeah, in my opinion, Ocarina of Time is the better of the two.
It balances the side quests and the main plot better.
I know there are some people that prefer Majora's Mask, and good for you. You're wrong.
I'm glad we're never going to get that style of game again. I hope.
Yeah, no, we might not. Thank you. But let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yeah, do you agree with us with Ocarina of Time? Do you not agree with us with Majora's Mask?
Do you hate Ocarina of Time and love Majora's Mask? I don't know many people that are like that, but I'm sure they agree.
Me neither. I know people that like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time, but not hate Ocarina of Time, but love Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't like Ocarina of Time, you're not gonna like Majora's Mask.
No.
Like, if you're not a hardcore Zelda guy, just stay away from Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
Because you're
it's not
not
bad,
gonna,
but
cause you're not gonna like it.
yeah, I don't know how to describe it anymore. It's just
Yeah, that sounds about right.
for a niche audience, I guess you could say.
But in any case, Next time we meet, we will be discussing. What will we be discussing? We'll be
Yeah.
discussing the classic Mario games.
Oh, let's go. That should be some fun.
So yeah, that's that. Do you have anything else you would like to add, Alex?
No, not really. I think I'm okay.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to us ramble.
Again.
We hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one.
And sorry if I sound sick.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Yeah, later.